Today's side-scrolling superheroes game is Ghost Rider, which came out in 2007, and it was based around the Ghost Rider movie starring Nicolas Cage. They actually made a sequel to that movie. Crazy movies, both of them. Not incredibly satisfying, but cool that they were made, and some of the special effects look pretty decent still. They've kind of held up. I like Nick Cage in all of these superhero creations. He was actually in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He's such a huge comic nerd that it's great when he pops up. He's played Superman in a variety of animated things, and he's clearly passionate about the comic book medium, so it's fun to see him in there. But Ghost Rider, let's be honest, should have been a better movie. It's such a great character to mine from for making a fun action game. And that's precisely what Ghost Rider is on the Game Boy Advance. It's gonna look a little chunky, a little bit dated, a little pixelated, but it's got some pretty cool design philosophy throughout it and some great mechanics, some great hooks. Of course, you get to ride the motorcycle, so this is not purely a side-scrolling experience. You actually have a road rash style on the bike, taking care of bad guys, avoiding obstacles in 3D kind of vibe in this game as well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty impressive for Game Boy Advance architecture, and it was fun. I mean, that's the bottom line on this game. It's actually quite fun to play. You're going to see a lot of recycled environments. You're going to see levels that just sort of stop, and then you've got the end screen that tells you if you've achieved the bonus scores or not, and then you go on to the next area, which looks surprisingly a lot like the previous area that you've been to, but it's still enjoyable. You go through the depths of hell, so you're dealing with all kinds of demons. You go through this kind of military base, so you've got soldiers and ninjas that you got to deal with your chain attacks. Then you are in city streets, and there's decrepit buildings all over the place. And you also end up in a really creepy, weird circus, and you're just laying waste to all kinds of clowns. Really evil, demonic clowns that are throwing bombs at you and stuff. And the whole time, you get to use your chains of hell, or whatever they're called. I love Ghost Rider, but I don't know everything about him. You know, I didn't read the comics. I've sort of dabbled. So I absolutely appreciate when I see Ghost Rider pop up in video game media. I think he's such a terrific character with his chain mechanic and being able to jump onto the back of his crazy bike that's on fire. I love his flaming head. You know, he's just a fun character. Visually, there's a statement there that's just a blast to see and to play as this character. He's also got some pretty tremendously cool bad guys that are from the depths of hell themselves, and so you're going to be fighting off against bosses like the Scarecrow, not Batman's Scarecrow, Ghost Rider's Scarecrow, which is a little weird. And it's not the first time that you see a similar enemy pop up in competing franchises out there. But you fight Scarecrow and Blackheart and Vengeance, and all the while you're kind of squaring up against Mephisto, which I think was played by Lance Henriksen in the movie. And there are some little sort of cinematic style cut sequences in there. You don't really get to see the actors from the film in these. They're sort of like homages to the actors and more sort of about the character than likenesses. It's not like a likeness right type deal. And I don't know if that's just applicable to the Game Boy Advance Ghost Rider. I can't remember playing the console games. I know I did, but it's been a long time since I played them and have checked them out again. I'm sure they probably adhered a little bit more to the storytelling and the scenery and the visuals of the films than the GBA game does. There's also some pretty cool cameos from other Marvel characters, which I won't spoil in this review. You know what? I like this game a lot. I think that it absolutely suits this whole enterprise of doing these side-scrolling superhero segments. There's a lot of fun in the mechanics. There's lots of ways to upgrade your abilities. It's like a Devil May Cry light type of situation here, where it's about combos and being able to lay waste to the enemies in as thrilling a fashion as you possibly can. It's clunkier than that, though, and sometimes the mechanics feel a little bit weird. Like, one of the things that bugged the hell out of me is I would be close up to an enemy and my chain attack would have no effect on that character at all, so I had to switch to the fist moves, which were fun, like punching, you know, the character repeatedly and then ending up with kind of like this blade weapon at the end was fun, but it was not as satisfying as, using your giant chains from across the screen and wiping out everybody, or jumping up into the air and using kind of like a Ferris wheel of fire to blast all of the bad guys on the screen at the same time was really cool. You can also tap the left and right shoulder buttons and transform into a fiery demon and give yourself a little bit more power that way. You can level up everything from your health bar to your mana bar to your melee fist attacks to your chain attacks. You've got new abilities and new animations that you can unlock and then level up as well. It's addictive. You want to work your way through these levels, and then, interspersed between these scrolling areas where you're mostly going left to right, but sometimes there is a little bit of vertical gameplay in there, or you have to jump down. And there's some pretty interesting stuff in the background and lots of destructible elements in the environment that give you health orbs or power orbs or the currency orbs that allow you to unlock stuff within the game. But interspersed with these scrolling stages are these bike levels, which are kind of the dessert of the game. They don't overstay their welcome. The levels aren't massive. None of the levels are. None of the scrolling levels and none of the bike levels are that massive that you're just like, oh my god, let me finish this. There is a tremendous amount of repetition in either of the stages, though. Whether you're scrolling, you're going to see a lot of the same types of bad guys. But it's fun to wipe them out. And I think a lot of that has to do with the animation systems that they put into the game and the fact that this character is so damn cool and demonic. So you're sucked in. And it was fun. I played this on the big screen on my GameCube with the GBA player in there, and it looked great, played great. Music's a little, I don't know, it's a little crunchy, a little scratchy, but it suits the kind of heavy metal-esque kind of vibe, the death biker kind of vibe of Ghost Rider in general. It does get a little repetitive, just like a lot of elements in this game, but it's really, really cool. It's made by a company called Magic Pockets, and clearly this is one of those studios that was really focused on portable gaming. I don't know how much that's going to be a part of the future of games. Obviously, there's lots of mobile studios out there, but so many games these days get made for a multitude of platforms. A lot of the portable hardware that's out there, like the Switch or even mobile phones these days, are so powerful that you'll see a game pop up on one of those screens and suddenly it's blasted over everything else out there. It makes me nostalgic for the days when we had studios that were just, really focused on hardware like the Game Boy Advance. This is absolutely worth searching out if you're a fan of Marvel Comics, if you like Ghost Rider as a character, if you like side-scrolling superhero adventures. This is very solid stuff. It was made with a lot of love, and it was very fun to re-explore and re-examine in 2020. I'm going to give Ghost Rider for the Game Boy Advance an 8.5 out of 10.